Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sabi Sadr, Nihayati Mohtaram Captain Shaheen Saab, Dr. Amarjit Singh Saab, Saras Khan Saab, मेरे यहाँ मोहतरम भाई और बहनों, अस्सलाम वालेकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि तआला व बरकातहू। गुज़श्ता, I think it's almost more than a month. Wherever I go, I just came from Europe. I was in France, in Germany, in Turkey. Most of the people say that there does not seem to be any light at the end of the tunnel. So I would like to very briefly emphasize the tools we will have to use here in America and elsewhere. But before going to that, Senator Shaheen Saab, we were still in the room. He just raised the question, how did this Kashmir Solidarity Day come into being? Let me today tell you how it happened, because I was a witness to that event. It was January 15, 1990. I, along with Dr. Oyub Thakur, may Allah bless his soul, he was from London. We were in Lahore, and we had a meeting with Qazi Hussain Ahmad. So we took the car, we reached Mansoura, and he was already outside the Mansoura. We told him, Qazi Sahab, we have a meeting with you. He said, yes, Fark, come with us. We are going to go somewhere. He did not tell us where he was going to go. So he had a meeting with Nawaz Sharif Sahab. And there was a guest who came from Makkah, Dr. Abdullah Umar Nasir. Dr. Abdullah Umar Nasir, that time he was the Secretary General of Rabtatul Afghanistani. We call it Muslim World League. So the only people who were there were Nawaz Sharif Sahab, Shahbaz Sharif Sahab, Qazi Hussain Ahmad, Dr. Abdullah Umar Nasir, Dr. Oyub Thakur, and myself. And Qazi, we were talking about many issues. Qazi Sahab said, Mia Sahab, why not to have some day? We want to celebrate some day, make a Pakistani people are going to express their solidarity. So Qazi Sahab said, Hi Sahab, do you have any day in your mind? I said, the historical day is January 5th, but today is January 15th. We cannot celebrate 5th on 15th. The second one is August 13th, because that day also the resolution was adopted, and April 21st. He said, it is too long, April and August. We can make our own day. So it was there in that meeting, they said, let us have it February 5th. But what is really very important, you need to know that. Mia Nawaz Sharif was not the Prime Minister that time, he was the Chief Minister. Mia Sahab asked Qazi Sahab, if we are going to take this initiative, is Bibi going to endorse it? Bibi means the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Benazir Bhutto. Qazi Sahab said, we will send these Dr. Sahib and Dr. Oyub and 5. They are going to meet, because we had already a scheduled meeting with her. So they will come inside. Mia Sahab said, no. Why not to let her take the decision, let her take the initiative, and we are going to endorse it. That's a really big sacrifice given by Mia Nawaz Sharif. In fact, it was his initiative. Because he was going to make an announcement, but they were not certain whether Benazir Sahiba is going to endorse it. She said, secondly, she is the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Let her take the initiative and we are going to endorse that exactly how it happened. So I just want to tell you that this is how the Solidarity Day was established. Now let me tell you, we should not really lose hope. So that's Sawar Khan is going to tell you. We have been meeting with so many missions. Without going into the details, but we just met one of the mission, and hopefully, inshallah, they are going to send us the invitation from the president of that country to invite us to the capital of that country. Who are we? Who is going to be fine? We are nobody. But the reason they are going to invite us to the capital because we have the sanctity of the purpose. We have the sanctity of the international agreements. I might have told you, Jaya Jatli, she was a correspondent of India Today. And what she said, we must not afford to ignore that reality. She's not a Muslim, you don't need to be a Muslim to speak the truth. Jaya Jatli wrote in India Today, Kashmir is so beautiful. I have been visiting Kashmir since I was a small baby. But now when I visit Kashmir, this Kashmiri youth is totally changed. India Today. How it will change? Because this Kashmiri youth who stands in front of the gun of the Indian soldier, then what does she say? She said, you cannot crush such a generation. Shouldn't we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We have to use the tools, 5 tools, and everyone has them. We may have different size of these tools, but every single person has them. Number 1, the intellect. Number 2, the pen. Number 3, the facts. Number 4, human resources and financial backing. Never ever try to meet an ambassador. Never ever try to meet a congressman when you do not have the facts. Your facts must speak by themselves. Suppose we have been always saying that Kashmir is a beautiful, it was a paradise, but that paradise does not exist anymore. We have the New York Times. New York Times says the actions of Narendra Modi. It is not Senator Shaheen Sahab, it's not Dr. Gurmeet Singh Sahab, Amarjit Singh Sahab. New York Times says the actions of Narendra Modi have made Kashmir the hell for the people of Kashmir. These are your facts. India says we are the largest democracy. We can't say no, you are not the largest democracy. Because Imran Khan Sahab has said so. Because Sayyid Ali Gilani Sahab has said so. Because Yasir Malik, no. We say India is not the largest democracy because the Huffington Post says the Indian democracy in Kashmir is dead. Ladies and gentlemen, the intellect and facts. I will give you one example. Never lose hope. That's a Quranic injection. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us. We cannot lose the hope. But it's not merely the hope. It is with certainty we cannot lose the hope. Let me give you one example. We had a meeting with one of the most important editors of the United States, the editor of Washington Post, Stephen Rosenfeld. We were 9 of us, 7 gentlemen and 2 sisters. We were all from the Valley of Kashmir in Washington, D.C. Stephen Rosenfeld, the editor of Washington Post, And our meeting was 6:45 in the morning. And our people, they were not even willing to go there. They said 6:45, we are not going to go. I told them, no, we must go. Later on, I came to know, if you really would like to have a very substantial meeting with any American policymaker, you must pray that he or she should invite you for a breakfast meeting. That's the most constructive and the productive meeting anybody could imagine. But that time we did not go. But anyway, we reached there. The editor was not there. But we were received. They gave us coffee and tea and whatnot. Here comes Stephen Rosenfeld. The opening statement of Stephen Rosenfeld. Am I talking to terrorists? This is exactly what everybody is telling us, that we are terrorists. Because everybody from the valley, we speak a special language which is Kashmiri. I told him in Kashmiri. I said, he's not an ordinary man. He makes the policies. He not makes the policy, but he shapes the policy of our life. We must make sure that by the time we are going to leave this meeting, we must erase this false impression that Kashmiris are the terrorists. Intellect, facts, and pen. We had 1.5 meeting, 1.5 meeting. God Almighty is witness. By the time we left, he said, today I was talking to scholars. Wow. He was talking to scholars not because we were something great. You know why? Because we discussed with him a report that was issued by Justice Farkundi, who happened to be the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court. Not a Muslim. No problem to be a Muslim, but he was not a Muslim. He was an Indian Hindu. And he was the chairman of PUCL, People's Union of Civil Liberties. We gave him the facts. And he said, I was talking to scholars. We met with Senator Metzenbaum, a Jewish senator. And I mentioned that in Pakistan at one time, my very dear friend, in fact, is a mentor, Mujibur Rahman Shami. He said, no, what Dr. Pai said, please don't report it. I said, why not? He said, people in Pakistan, they respect you. And you are saying that you met some Jewish senator, you are going to lose your credibility. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you can do the same thing today, not tomorrow, today. I have never met Senator Metzenbaum, but I met with his staffer. And I gave him a report. And the report is not mine, the report is by Human Rights Watch, written by Patty Gosnell. And I did not know Patty Gosnell is also Jewish. And she happened to be in Kashmir. She wrote a report, Kashmir Under Siege. Listen carefully, we can change the perception of a person particularly, and only if we have facts. I have maybe half an hour, 45 minutes with the staffer. By the time I was leaving, he said, I think Senator is going to do something for Kashmir. And I had no idea what Senator can do. I'm talking about 1991. So I came back, I forgot. After 2 weeks, I called him. I said, Senator was going to do something. Is he going to do? He said, I'm sorry. If you have time, can you come to my office? I went to his office. He said, no, I'm sorry. He cannot do anything. I said, finally, what was he going to do? He said he was going to initiate a resolution on Kashmir in the United States Senate. I said, if you are going to do that, does it mean that there are no sufferings in Kashmir, everything is solved? He said, no, it does not mean that. I said, then what does it mean? He said, we got 25 telephone calls and letters from the state of Ohio, because he was from Ohio. I said, okay, what does it take me to change his mind? He said, you double the number. We got 25, you double the number. Wallahi, I opened my diary, that time there was no iPhone. I had 3.5 people in the whole state of Ohio from Kashmir. I said, they cannot give me that much. Then I called the presidents of Islamic centers. I sent them the draft. I told them I need these letters to be signed. Can you believe it? We got more than 1,000 letters from the state of Ohio. Wow. The stopper called. He said, Doctor, I have a good news. Can you come see me? I went to see him. The resolution was already initiated. You can go to the Google. Senate Resolution 91 of 1991. And who are the co-sponsors? And I'm sure you have heard the name. Al Gore, Bob Dole, J.C. Helms, Senator Kennedy. These are the co-sponsors. My only point to you is, we need to have the facts, but we need to have the human resources. And you tell me, Shaheen Saab was saying about Dr. Amarjit Singh. But there are Christians here in America. There are Jews here in America. They can support you. So the only thing is that you need to be precise and you need to know what is your objective. And let me tell you, again people are saying that there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Shaheen Saab was saying, and Dr. Amarjit Singh also, there will be disintegration of India. But Dr. Amarjit Singh, he has his own cause. Shaheen Saab has his own cause. Ladies and gentlemen, dear brothers and sisters, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know who said it? P. Chidambaram. P. Chidambaram is not in Pakistan. He was the Minister of Finance. He was the Minister of Interior from Government of India. He is an Oxford graduate. He said it right in front of the Indian Parliament on August 5th, 2019. The day abrogation of 370 and 35A took place, he said same day, right in front of the Parliament House. You can go to the Google. What did he say? He said, I do not want to say it, but I am compelled to say that abrogation of Article 370 is the beginning of the disintegration of India. Day before yesterday, he said something very important. Again, he is not a Pakistani agent. And that poor guy is not even Muslim, but he was sent to jail for almost 3 weeks for speaking the truth. 3 days back, he said, P. Chidambaram, he said, we are making a mistake. We want to buy the people of Kashmir through money, but by paying them the money is not really going to help us in creating a situation so that the people of Kashmir, they are going to forget about Azadi. He said, you cannot really buy that sentiment of Azadi by the money. And he said also, but that he said in Parliament, what did he say? He said, we are losing Kashmir. And P. Chidambaram is a Congress leader. What about the BJP? Yashwant Sinha was the foreign minister of BJP of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So he's not a Congress. Although to be a Congress doesn't mean that he's a pro-Kashmir. But he's a BJP, Yashwant Sinha. Yashwant Sinha said, we are not losing Kashmir. We have lost Kashmir. So you tell me, ladies and gentlemen, 35,000 youth have been picked up and put in different jails of India, including a 9-year-old boy reported by Amnesty International, 9-year-old boy. They are trying to brainwash them. Who said that? Gautam Navlakar. Who is Gautam Navlakar? He was the editor of Economic and Political Weekly of India. When did he say it? He said it on a television program which is WIRE, W-I-R-E, with the Kashmiri activist Parvez Imroz. 35,000 youth. So dear brothers and sisters, Sayyid Ali Girani. I have no idea when Allah wants someone to survive, how he survives. 94 years old man. Last month he completed 11 years of his house arrest. 11 years. Wow. You tell me, if Gilani Sahib is nobody, why he is not allowed even to go outside and make the salat in the mosque? Muhammad Yasin Malik, the magic. I can still understand how Gilani Sahib survives. I honestly cannot understand how Muhammad Yasin Malik survived. One kidney, he was tortured for years in the torture cell. They put him in the cell. He is in the death cell. He has a case, and only Allah knows what will be his tomorrow. If Yasin Malik is nobody, why don't they want him to be on the streets? And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, what is going to be tomorrow. And that I am going to give you with one example. The name was mentioned by Dr. Amarjit Singh Saab here about Burhan Wani. India has been able to do anything that is humanly possible in Kashmir. More than 100,000 people dead. Our State Department of the United States of America says there are 8 to 10,000 people who have disappeared in Kashmir and no one knows whether they are dead or alive. There are 50,000 orphans, and as I told you, nobody can. Yesterday we had a meeting, day before yesterday, Sardar Savar Khan was also there, with a very important mission. Not to mention it, but very important mission. But before going there, I called the Lieutenant Governor office in Kashmir. I said, because we cannot reach our relatives, we cannot reach Gilani Sahab, maybe we can reach the Governor of Kashmir, Lieutenant Governor. We could not reach. That's exactly what we told the mission. Here is the number, you just call it. We are not allowed to go to Kashmir. We are not allowed to talk with our people. But even after all these restrictions, I will tell you just one thing, because that has happened in the past, and it is going to happen again tomorrow. Inshallah. That is Burhan Wani. 22 years old. 22 years. High school student. And according to an Indian general, he has never used his gun. He had a gun. But he was an expert on the social media. He was killed in Tral, it's a small town, just 20 miles from my hometown. The total population of Tral is 8,000 today. 8,000. There were more than 600,000 people in his janazah. Ladies and gentlemen, if the movement in Kashmir is dead, If India had been able to crush the movement and crush the sentiments of the people of Kashmir, who were these 600,000 people? India Tribune, not published from Karachi, it is published from New Delhi. India Tribune says there were 200,000 people in his funeral. This Indian report, 200,000 people in the funeral of Burhan Wali. But what is really interesting, the same time, the former Chief Minister of Kashmir, and who happened to be also the Indian Interior Minister, Mufti Saeed, a Kashmiri, who was the Interior Minister of India. He was also the Chief Minister of India. He also died. Who was a pro-India. Let me not tell you how many people were there. Let me quote you the Hindu newspaper. The Hindu newspaper is a newspaper, Hindu. Hindu newspaper said there were 5,000 people. And out of 5,000 people, mostly they were either the party workers or they were the police in civil uniform. So you tell me, ladies and gentlemen, why should we lose hope? But one thing is very clear. As it was mentioned by Hussain Sahab and Balkis Sahab, we should not touch the politics here. But I am telling you, brothers from Kashmir, whether you are from Azad Kashmir or Indian occupied Kashmir, you are living in utopian world. You are living in fool's paradise. If Pakistan is not going to give you the diplomatic support. Fool's paradise if you are not going to get the support from Pakistan. Diplomatic and political support. I would like to really tell Imran Khan sir, and magic. Whether Donald Trump means it or not, he said, my friend, my dear friend, Imran Khan. When he spoke in the United Nations, you could listen to him. But you tell me, he mentioned himself. He is the ambassador of the people of Kashmir. Have you ever seen an ambassador staying in his own capital? The ambassador has to come out. Friday we had a meeting with one member of the Security Council, Sardar Sawar Khan Sahab. He said, Jay Shankar, the Indian foreign minister, he visited that country is from Africa. And he was telling them, what happened to you? Why are you supporting these Kashmiris? And you tell me, isn't it a challenge for us as Pakistani Americans, Kashmiri Americans, to tell Shah Mahmood Qureshi, please go to the same country? Jay Shankar went to 23 countries before the first meeting of Security Council took place. 23 countries. He went to also China. Can you believe it? It was China who initiated the meeting of the Security Council. And India knew that India can change anybody's policy, but not China. But Jay Shankar even then went to China. Why are you doing this? You tell me. Sayyidi Gilani, our mentor, our leader, who mentioned in Makkah to Nawab Dada Nafsullah Khan, may Allah bless his soul.
Amen.
Now Dada asking Gilani Sahab, इलाहाकी पाकिस्तान के बारे में आपकी क्या राय है? Here goes Gilani Sahab, exact quote of Gilani Sahab. Gilani Sahab said, Qibla Nawab Dada Nafsullah Khan Sahab. इलाहाकी पाकिस्तान मेरी सियासी मंशूर का हिस्सा नहीं है. इलाहाकी पाकिस्तान मेरे ईमान का जुज़ है. So dear brothers and sisters, we have the expectation. God forbid, God forbid, God forbid, if Pakistan is going to just say bye-bye, no matter what you are doing as a Kashmiri American, Sayyid Ali Gilani, Muhammad Hassan Malik, Iraq, Karo. No one is going to listen to us. It is because of those expectations. You tell me Senator Sahab or for that matter, anybody if you are from the PTR here. Fakir Imam, the chairman of Kashmir Committee. I met him with Mushahid Hussain Sahab. He is such an articulate person. He is an old man. By God, he is such an articulate person. If he comes to America and meets with the senators and the media person, he can convince them. But I have yet to see him coming out of Islamabad. I saw on 26th of February, which is just less than 4 weeks. United Nations Human Rights Council is going to meet in Geneva. 9 million Kashmiris are looking toward the Human Rights Council. It is the same council they issued 2 reports on Kashmir by the Human Rights High Commissioner. If Fakir Imam does not go and knock the doors of the members of the Human Rights Council, we are done. If nothing is happening in the Human Rights Council, I am telling you, we should close everything and we should say bye-bye. We were told by one of the most important members of the Security Council of the United Nations, and again Sawal was with me. He said, why don't we collectively do something in the Human Rights Council? Then he asked us, who are we? Who is Sawal? Who is Palam B5? But he asked us, can you go and knock the door of few members of the Human Rights Council in Africa and Central America? Wallahi, I made a note, I sent it to Prime Minister of Pakistan. Can you also go and send somebody to Africa and Central America? That mission told us, India has a lot of resources, but we still have hope in African countries and Central American countries. Please, for God's sake, we still have the time. Pakistani parliamentary delegations, let there be all the women, as you are saying about the women. Women has really an appeal. I am watching all these talk shows on Pakistan, subhanAllah, from People's Party, Muslim League, PTI and whatnot. Such an articulated women parliamentarians. Let us send them out. We have only 3 weeks. And I am telling you, no matter what India does in Kashmir, the sentiments of the people of Kashmir, they are on the increase. Why I am saying so, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, and this is my conclusion. It was mentioned here that East Timor got freedom in 2 years. No, that's not true. East Timor was occupied for 27 years. But you know why they got the freedom? Because Kofi Annan told us that. Kofi Annan, the Secretary General, was asked, you were quiet for the last 27 years. Now suddenly you got intervened, you had elections, and you gave the freedom peace for East Timor. The answer of Kofi Annan. We had a survey in East Timor. Survey. And 70% of East Timoris, they did not want to be the part of Indonesia. So we had no choice but to intervene. How many percent? 70%. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the survey of Chatham House. Chatham House is London-based NGO, not sponsored by Pakistan. They had a survey in 5 regions. Chatham House here in the valley of Kashmir, where we have these 9 million people under siege. In the valley of Kashmir, 90 to 95% they want Azadi. Shouldn't we ask NTU because shouldn't we write to the Secretary General of the United Nations? If your mentor Kofi Annan intervened in East Timor because 70% did not want to be the part of Indonesia, Here you have 90 to 95% of Kashmiri did not want to be a part of India. So ladies and gentlemen, keep doing what you are doing. This is the easiest we can do it.
We'll do it.
These protests, these meetings, but I can see some, again, this may be done only by the sisters here. Can you write to the editorial board of New York Times? Tell them we would like to meet with you. It is not difficult. We have met with the editorial board of New York Times more than a dozen times. And there was a very, very good and important editorial on Kashmir. That Stephen Rosenfeld, after he said, I am talking to scholars, he wrote 3 editorials on Kashmir. Because he told me that he wrote them. Otherwise, we do not know who writes the editorial. Please write to 2 newspapers because you are from New York, Wall Street Journal and New York Times. And tell them the facts. Tell them the facts. And make the international UN report. And by the way, we have a resolution in the United States Congress. By now, we have almost 65 co-sponsors. But as you know, there are 435 members. But it may be coming to the full committee, because full committee chairman, by the way, is from New York, Congressman Engel. So please try to meet as many congressmen as you can. As Dr. Amarjit said, there are 645 members of local parliament. 645. They sign on to this resolution. And I agree with him, whether by the end of the day it means anything, but we have to send the time. It is the least we can do, but let me tell you, brothers and sisters, if you want to have tangible impact on the streets of Kashmir, you cannot do this, I cannot do this. It is not that the Prime Minister of Pakistan can do it, it is the Imran Khan, who happened to be the Prime Minister of Pakistan, he can do it. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.